Every year, millions of people Google the same cruise questions. Is it worth it? Will I get seasick? What's actually included? Do I really need a passport? Hey, today I'm answering all of them. 10 questions, straight answers, and a few things that are going to genuinely surprise you. Let's get into it. Everyone wants to know, which is the best cruise line? And the honest answer is, that's the wrong question. The right question is, what cruise line is best for you? Because the best cruise line in the world means nothing if it's the wrong fit for how you actually travel. Today, I'm breaking it down by traveler type, so you can stop Googling and start booking. You want a great vacation without spending like you're funding someone else's yacht. Your cruise line is Carnival. Lowest base fares in the mainstream market. More US departure ports than any other line. Fun atmosphere, great entertainment, and a crowd that is genuinely there to have a good time. Carnival is the no judgment zone of the cruise world. Show up however you are. Have the time of your life. Nobody is keeping score. Carnival gets a bad reputation from people who have never sailed it. The people who actually sail it keep coming back. Type 2. You want activities, thrills, and something for everyone. You travel with kids, or a group where everyone wants something completely different. Your cruise line is Royal Caribbean, the biggest ships on the planet, rock climbing walls, surf simulators, go-karts, skydiving simulators, Broadway shows, and more dining options than most cities you'll visit on land. It's like someone took Walt Disney World, welded it to a 5-star resort, and sent it out to sea. Royal Caribbean is the most booked cruise line in the world, and that's not an accident. Type 3. You want sophistication without paying luxury prices. The kids are growing. You want exceptional food, elegant surroundings, and a crowd that matches your energy. Your cruise line is Celebrity Cruises. Award-winning dining, stunning edge-class ships that feel like a luxury hotel floating in the ocean, and a passenger mix that skews towards adults who are there to actually savor the experience rather than race between activities. It's the upgrade you didn't know you could afford. Type number 4. You want the destination to be the star. You're not cruising for the ship, you're cruising for the places. Alaska, the Mediterranean, the Norwegian fjords. Your cruise line is Princess Cruises. Princess puts the destination first. Enrichment lectures, immersive port experiences, destination-focused programming that actually teaches you about where you're going. And the ships are absolutely worth talking about too. Beautifully designed, exceptionally comfortable, and refined enough to hold their own against any line in the premium market. Princess just happens to also like to take you somewhere worth going. If the journey is the point, Princess is built exactly for you. Type number 5. You want true luxury. Everything included, no surprises. You've cruised before, and you know what you want. And what you want is drinks, dining, excursions, and gratuities all covered from the moment you board to the moment you leave. Your cruise line is Regent 7 Seas, the most inclusive luxury experience on the water. Everything covered. The only decision you make each morning is what you feel like doing today. Hey, there is no single best cruise line. There is only the best cruise line for the way you travel. Now, hopefully you know which one that is. Drop a comment and tell me, which type are you? I'll see you on the water. What to pack for a cruise? Here is everything you actually need. Planning your first cruise or your 15th, this is the packing list that actually matters. The things that separate a smooth, stress-free vacation from a week of small annoying problems that nobody warned you about. 4 categories. Let's go. Veteran cruisers have an art form when it comes to the cabin. Everything has a place, nothing is on the floor, and it takes them about 20 minutes on embarkation day. Here is how they do it. Number 1, magnetic hooks. Cruise ship cabin walls are metal, which means magnetic hooks stick anywhere. Wet swimsuits, hats, lanyards, bags. Suddenly your tiny cabin has storage everywhere. Number 2, a non-surge protected power strip. Most cabins have 1 or 2 outlets for 2 people with phones, tablets, cameras, and everything else. That is not enough. The solution is a cruise-approved power strip designed specifically for ships, no surge protection, multiple outlets, and USB ports built right in. Veterans never sail without one. I've got the exact one you need linked on my Amazon storefront with everything else from today's video. Link is in the comments. Your cabin outlets will never be the same. Number 1, pack a mix and match capsule wardrobe. Choose one base color, black or navy, and build everything around it, neutrals plus a few patterns. Veterans create 15 to 20 outfits from about 25 pieces, half the luggage, twice the option. Number 2, Crocs. Laugh all you want, but walk through a cruise ship for 3 days and you will understand. Comfortable from the first step. Easy to slip off at the pool, the beach, and everywhere in between. Veterans have been wearing them for years. The ship will convert you. Number 1, a refillable water bottle. Most ships now have free hydration stations throughout the vessel. Fill it up, stay hydrated, and save the money you would have spent on bottled water for something that actually comes with a little umbrella. Number 2, a personal first aid kit. The ship has a medical center, but it is expensive and not next door at 2 in the morning. Blister bandages, pain relievers, antacids, anti-diarrheal, antihistamine, a small kit that fits in your day bag and solves 90% of the problems that happen on a cruise before they ruin your afternoon. Ziploc bags. Sounds ridiculous until you're standing on a beach in Cozumel trying to figure out how to keep your phone dry on a snorkeling excursion. Multiple sizes. Waterproof your phone. Store snacks from the buffet for port days. Keep wet swimsuits away from everything else in your bag. 10 cents worth of plastic that veterans pack every single time without thinking about it. Number 2, a small portable fan. Ships are air conditioned, but cabin temperature control is surprisingly limited. A small USB powered fan solves it. It keeps you cool. It circulates the air, and at night, it doubles as the white noise that makes a tiny cabin feel like the most comfortable place you have ever slept. Everything I just mentioned, I've put together a full page on my Amazon storefront with every single item. One stop, everything you need. The link is in the comments below. Pack smart, board confident, and spend your vacation doing exactly what you came to do. Drop a comment and tell me, what's the one thing you always forget to pack? I'll see you on the water. What's included in a cruise fare, and is it actually worth it? People ask this all the time. Is a cruise actually worth it? Today I'm breaking it all down. Number 1, here's what your base fare actually covers. More than most people think. Your cabin is included, daily housekeeping is included, every meal in the main dining room and buffet 3 times a day is included, snacks almost 24 hours a day are included, Broadway caliber live shows every single night included, the pool, the hot tubs, the gym, the water slides, the rock climbing wall, mini golf, trivia, dance classes, cooking demonstrations, all of it is included. It's like checking into a hotel that also came with a theater, a theme park, and a restaurant that never closes, and you paid for it all the moment you booked. Number 2, here's what's not included, and this part is important. Alcoholic drinks, not included on most lines. Specialty restaurants, not included. Wi-Fi, not included. Gratuities, not included. They usually land around $18 to $25 per person per day, depending on the cruise line. Spa, not included. Now here's the thing. None of these really have to be a surprise. Think of it like buying a car. The sticker price gets you on the road, but you already know there's going to be tax, tags, and insurance. Once you know what to expect, you plan for it, and the whole picture still looks really good. A week at an all-inclusive Caribbean resort runs between $2,800 and $3,500 per person. A Caribbean cruise, same sun, same ocean, a new destination every single morning, often half that. Even after you factor in a drink package, even after you add gratuities, the CEO of Royal Caribbean has said publicly that land-based vacations cost roughly 40% more than cruising. That gap is real money. And now you know exactly what you're getting for it. Is a cruise worth it? When you know what's included, the answer is pretty hard to argue with. Hey, now you know. Drop a comment and tell me, what did you think was included on your first cruise that actually wasn't? I'll see you on the water. Are cruise drink packages worth it? Here is the real math. Before your next cruise, you're going to face a decision. Do I buy the drink package? And the answer comes down to one number. How many drinks do you actually have in a day? Because that number is the whole ball game. Here's the math that actually works in 2026. Most major cruise lines price their drink packages between $65 and $90 per person per day before the gratuities. And that mandatory 18 to 20% gratuity is the part that catches almost everyone off guard. That $72 Carnival Cheers package? After gratuity, it's $84 a day per person every day of the sailing, whether you're sitting at the pool bar or wandering around a port somewhere. Now, the break-even point. Most people will tell you you need 5 to 7 drinks a day to break even. And they're not wrong, but they're also not telling you the whole story. Because every major drink package also covers specialty coffee, smoothies, bottled water, fresh juice, and sodas. A morning latte, a poolside smoothie, bottled water throughout the day, juice at breakfast. That's $25 in value before your first cocktail even exists. Factor that in, and most packages actually break even at 3 to 4 drinks a day, which for most people on a cruise vacation is Tuesday morning before noon. Now, when does it not make sense? port-heavy itinerary, 4 or more port days out of 7, you're paying full price for days you're barely on the ship. Or if one person in your cabin barely drinks. On most major cruise lines, every adult in the cabin has to buy the package. Run that math before you click anything. And here's something nobody puts in the brochure. The drink package isn't just a financial decision, it's a psychological one. Think of it like an all-inclusive resort. The moment you check in, the mental calculator turns off and you just enjoy yourself. No calculating every round, no checking your onboard account with one eye closed. Just a drink when you want one. And for a lot of people, that freedom alone is worth every dollar. Is the drink package worth it? For most cruisers who buy it in advance and actually use the non-alcoholic perks, yeah. And for sure, buy before you board. Pre-cruise pricing is almost always 10 to 20% cheaper than buying it on the ship. Hey, now you know. Drop a comment. Do you always buy the package or do you pay as you go? I'll see you on the water. How early should you arrive on embarkation day for a cruise? Here is the single best piece of advice anyone can give you about embarkation day. Get there early as you possibly can. And here is exactly why. Most cruise terminals open around 10 in the morning. Ships typically sail between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. That's a 5 or 6 hour window, and the people who show up early know something the late arrivals don't find out until it's too late. The moment you step on that ship, the pool is open, the buffet is ready, the bars are serving, the water slides, the rock climbing wall, the mini golf, all of it is available and almost completely empty. Think of it like being first in line on opening day, while everyone else is still fighting traffic on the way to the port. You're already on vacation. Now, here's how the system actually works. Every major cruise line uses a staggered arrival appointment system. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, NCL, Princess, they all assign you a specific arrival window when you can complete your online check-in. Royal Caribbean opens check-in 45 days before sailing. Carnival opens check-in exactly 14 days before sailing. Complete it the moment it opens. I'll tell you exactly what I do. The night before check-in opens, I set an alarm for midnight because the early arrival windows fill up fast. And I want the first one available every time. Getting on that ship at 11 a.m. instead of 2 p.m. means 3 extra hours of vacation before the crowds arrive. That alarm goes off, I check in, I get my window, and I go back to sleep smiling. Now here's the part that catches first-timers every single time. Your cabin will not be ready until about 1:30 in the afternoon. Don't race to it, don't stand outside the door. Pack a carry-on with everything you need for the first few hours. Passport and boarding pass, swimsuit, sunscreen, medications, phone charger, valuables. Check your big luggage with the porters at the terminal. Walk to that ship, head straight to the pool deck, order your first drink. And remember, your checked bags won't arrive at your cabin until mid to late afternoon. Everything you need for those first magical hours needs to be in that carry-on. Get there first, get on first, and spend the rest of your embarkation day doing exactly what you came to do. Hey, now you know. Drop a comment. What is the first thing you do when you step on the ship? I'll see you on the water. What happens if the cruise ship leaves without you at port? Yes, the ship will leave without you, and it happens more than you'd think. Today I'm telling you exactly what happens when it does, and more importantly, how to make sure it never happens to you. First, why the ship won't wait. A cruise ship's departure isn't a suggestion, it's a contract. With the port, with the harbor pilots, with the dock workers, with every tour operator and bus driver at the next destination who has planned their entire day around your ship arriving on time. A 1-hour delay affects thousands of people, and it costs the cruise line serious money. So when the clock hits all aboard, the gangway goes up whether you're on it or not. Now, here's what actually happens if you get left behind. The ship's security team will have already entered your cabin, opened your safe, and left your passport, medication, and credit cards with the port agent on shore. Yes, they go into your safe. The port agent is now your best friend. They will help you contact the cruise line, arrange transportation, and figure out your next move, which is going to cost you hotels, flights, meals, transportation to the next port to rejoin the ship. Every single dollar of it comes out of your pocket, unless you have travel insurance that covers the missing departure. And now here's the most interesting thing I'm going to tell you in this entire video. There is one situation where the ship will wait for you. If you booked your excursion directly through the cruise line, the ship will not leave without you. The cruise line monitors their own excursions. If the tour runs late, the captain knows. And if for some reason the ship cannot wait, the cruise line is responsible for getting you to the next port at their expense. But if you booked independently, you are on your own, and the ship has zero obligation to wait, and it won't. Here's how to never be that person running down the pier. Know the difference between ship time and local time. They are not always the same. Always aim to be back at the gangway at least an hour before all aboard time. Carry a copy of your passport when you go ashore. And for any excursion in a port where timing is risky, book through the cruise line. Pay a little bit more, sleep a little bit better. The ship is a beautiful place to be, just make sure you're on it when it leaves. Now you know. Drop a comment. Have you ever had a close call in a port? I'll see you on the water. What is a cruise gratuity, and do you actually have to pay it? Well, cruise gratuities are tips. That's it. That's the whole definition. Tips. The same tip you leave at a restaurant table or hand a hotel housekeeper. Somewhere along the way, cruise lines decided they didn't want to leave the tipping to you, so they set the amount, they set the schedule, and they put it on your bill automatically. Every person, every day, whether the service was outstanding or whether you barely saw your room steward after day one. Carnival, $17 per person per day. Royal Caribbean, $18.50. Norwegian, $20. Princess, up to $19 depending on your cabin. On a 7-night cruise for 2 people, you're looking at anywhere from $230 to nearly $300 just in tips. Before drinks, before specialty dining, before anything else. Now here's where it gets important. Cruise lines have done a masterful job of making these feel as mandatory as your port taxes. But they legally cannot be mandatory because they're tips. And a tip, by definition, is voluntary. On most major cruise lines, you can walk up to guest services while you're still on board and ask them to have them removed. Right then and there. And then tip your room steward and your dining staff directly in cash, the way tipping has always been intended. A personal thank you from you to the person who actually earned it. Now, some have speculated that at least on some cruise lines, these so-called gratuities are actually part of how the cruise line pays its employees, which means they aren't really tips at all, they're a payroll subsidy, collected from you. That puts more money in the pockets of a billion-dollar corporation. And the biggest argument you will always hear against removing them is this. The gratuities are distributed to the back of the house staff too, the kitchen crew, the laundry workers, the people you never see. And if you remove them, those people get nothing. It's a fair point, but here's the question worth asking. When you go to a restaurant, do you tip the back of the house? Or do you tip the server who stood in front of you based on how good the service actually was? Because that's what a tip is. That's what it has always been. The gratuities are not mandatory. The choice has always been yours. Now you know. Hey, drop a comment. Do you pay the auto gratuities or do you tip your crew directly in cash? I'll see you on the water. Do you need a passport to cruise? Here's what you need to know, and the answer might actually surprise you. If you're a U.S. citizen and your cruise departs and returns from the same U.S. port, that's called a closed-loop cruise. And on a closed-loop cruise, no passport is required. Caribbean cruises round trip from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Galveston, and Tampa, Alaska, round trip from Seattle. You can legally board the ship, visit foreign ports, and come back home with just 2 things. An original certified copy of your birth certificate, not a hospital copy. It has to be the official state issued one. And a valid government issued photo ID like your driver's license. That's it. Carnival, Royal Caribbean, NCL, Celebrity, they all allow this. Most people have no idea. Now you do. Now every cruise line will tell you the same thing. Even when a passport isn't required, bring one anyway. It makes boarding faster and smoother, and if something goes wrong during your cruise, a medical emergency, a missed ship in a foreign port, an unexpected itinerary change, a passport is the difference between getting home easily and having a very bad day get a whole lot worse. Think of it like a spare tire. You hope you never need it, but the one time you do, you're very glad that it's there. But here's where it gets important. If your cruise starts and ends in a foreign port, you do need a passport. No exceptions. Flying to Barcelona to board a Mediterranean cruise, you need a passport. Starting in one country and ending in another, passport. And here's the one thing that catches people completely off guard. Sailing to Panama, Colombia, or any French West Indies port like Martinique, Guadeloupe, St. Martin, or St. Bart's, even on a round-trip U.S. sailing, you are going to need a passport. One more thing worth knowing. If you're not a U.S. citizen, a passport is required for every cruise regardless of itinerary. No exceptions there either. And here's the detail that trips everyone up. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your return date. Cruise ends on July 1st, 2027. Your passport needs to read January 2028 or later. Check that expiration date before you book anything. Get the passport, renew it early, and cruise knowing you are covered no matter what happens. Hey, now you know. Drop a comment. Did you know you could cruise without a passport on a closed loop sailing? Because something tells me this one is going to surprise a few people. I'll see you on the water. Are cruises safe? Here's what the data actually shows. When something goes wrong on a cruise ship, the whole world finds out about it. A passenger overboard, norovirus outbreak, a crime on board. It makes the news, it goes viral. And suddenly everyone is asking, are cruises actually safe? Today I'm answering that with real data. Not headlines, data. And the answer is going to surprise you. The odds of being involved in a serious accident on a cruise ship are 1 in 6.25 million. For comparison, the odds of dying in a car crash are 1 in 103. Cruise travel is statistically 25 times safer than traveling by car. The U.S. Department of Transportation has officially called cruising the safest form of commercial leisure travel available. Not one of the safest, the safest. Now let's talk about things people are actually scared of. Man overboard. It happens, an average about 20 times per year across the entire global fleet of 40 million passengers. That's roughly 1 in 2 million. Your lifetime odds of being struck by lightning are 1 in 15,000. You are statistically more likely to be hit by lightning than go overboard on a ship. Now, crime. This one deserves an honest conversation. In the first quarter of 2026, the FBI received 43 criminal incident reports from cruise ships across the entire global industry in 3 months. And here's something worth knowing. Every cruise line calling at a U.S. port is legally required to report crimes directly to the FBI and the Department of Transportation. That's more transparency than most cities you vacation in on land. And norovirus. This is the one that gets the most dramatic headlines. But here's the number that nobody ever reports. The CDC defines a cruise ship outbreak as any voyage where just 3% of passengers report illness. 3%. Even in the worst documented outbreak in recent memory, 86.5% of passengers on the ship were completely fine. The news covered the outbreak. Nobody covered the 86% who had a perfectly good cruise. It's like reporting a flight had some turbulence and leaving out the part where it landed safely. Here's the bottom line. Modern cruise ships are among the most safely engineered environments on the planet. Every cabin has smoke detectors linked directly to the bridge. 75% of the global fleet can function after a fire or flood and return to port on their own power. Every ship carries at least 1 doctor per 1,000 passengers. And serious cruise ship fires have dropped by 50% since 2010. The headlines are loud. The data is louder. Cruising is safe. Now you know. Drop a comment. Did any of these numbers change the way you think about cruise safety? I'll see you on the water. Will I get seasick on a cruise? Here is the honest answer. You've done the research, you've picked the ship, you've already mentally claimed your deck chair, and then your neighbor says, "Oh, I could never cruise, I'd be seasick." And now that thought is living rent-free in your head. Let's evict it. About 1 in 3 people are prone to motion sickness in general. But in normal sea conditions, 70 to 80% of cruise passengers feel completely fine. The reason is the ships themselves. Modern cruise ships are not boats. They are floating cities, some weighing over 200,000 tons. They're equipped with active stabilizers, giant fins that extend from the hull below the waterline and counteract the ocean's movement in real time. Those stabilizers can cancel out up to 90% of the side-to-side rolling that causes seasickness. 90%. You're not sailing on the Titanic. You are sailing on an engineering marvel specifically designed to keep you comfortable. Now here's the part that matters most. If seasickness is a real concern for you, the single most important thing to know is seasickness remedies are prevention, not treatment. Once the nausea starts, you're already behind. The old school approach is medication. The scopolamine patch, prescription only, applied behind your ear before you board. Bonine or Dramamine over the counter. They're all effective, all proven, but some people get side effects worse than the seasickness itself. Here's where it gets interesting, because the modern way to handle seasickness doesn't involve a single pill. It's a watch. The FDA cleared electronic wristbands that use gentle electrical pulses to stimulate the nerve on the underside of your wrist. The same pressure point that acupressure has targeted for centuries, and block nausea signals before they ever reach your stomach. Drug-free, non-drowsy, no side effects, and you look like you're wearing a smartwatch, and you feel like someone who doesn't get seasick. I'll have the one I recommend linked below in the comments. And here's a big cabin tip that veteran cruisers swear by. Book mid-ship on a lower deck. The center of the ship moves the least. The higher you go and the closer to the bow or stern, the more you feel it. Mid-ship, lower deck. Remember that when you book. The fear of seasickness keeps more people off cruise ships than almost anything else. And the vast majority of those people, the fear is much bigger than the reality. Hey, now you know. Drop a comment. Did seasickness worry you before your first cruise? I'll see you on the water. That's all 10. It flew by, right? But here's the thing about cruising. The questions never stop. And neither do I. Drop a comment and tell me what I missed. What's the one cruise question you've never gotten a straight answer on? Get enough of those in the comments, and I'll see you back here for part 2. I'll see you on the water.